Alright. Tervetuloa meidän YouTube-kanavalle. No, I'm just joking. I wanted to say that. But yeah, welcome to our Faith and Forest podcast. This is the first one. Yeah, I'm Daniel. My name is Daniel.
I'm Amanda.
That's Amanda, and we're married. We met in Finland, where I've been living for about, well, it's almost 17 years, roughly 17 odd years. Yeah, we're both Christians, believers in Christ Jesus. Both love God, and yeah, we just had on our hearts that we do some kind of a podcast after moving to Australia. So this is obviously not Finland.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're way up in the boonies in Australia. So yeah, we've started this together as a sort of living testimony to anyone that would be interested, and I think we'll just kind of cover whatever topics are sort of on our heart, but the main thing is to sort of like we live our life, or at least we try to live our life through like God's lens, and we want other people to maybe consider how that might work for them, because it certainly works for us, and for a lot of other people, but it's working really well for us. So, yeah.
Yeah, and this is going to be about our journey.
Yeah.
From coming from Finland and from living in a box, and not that that's not the only way to live in Finland, obviously, but that's the way that we lived in Finland, in a box, and coming to something completely different, like the rainforest, and just living out in nature, not having everything convenient close by, but having to plan and having to struggle a bit more in the practical ways, but then also I think we'll be much more connected to God, like naturally, because we're in His creation.
Amen.
And that's something that we've been longing for a long time now.
Absolutely.
So yeah, you'll be following us through this journey, and we'll share our sort of where our minds at along the way, and yeah, just different things that we're going through and thinking about and stuff.
Yeah, and the channel will, I think, evolve over time, but the main way we want to do it is as honest as possible. No flashy camera stuff, no makeups, no nothing. It's just, if I'm covered in dirt, I'm covered in dirt, and that's just what it is to live out here. I mean, it's a lot of mud out here where we are, and it's beautiful, but it's a different kind of beauty than you see on the television. There's no makeup, there's no nice camera angles. We have our camera on a box at the moment, so yeah, it's we're gonna try and do it as real as it kind of gets, and yeah, in kind of what Amanda said, here it has been a bit of a physical struggle, but I honestly, at least personally, I felt that, she's going to start doing the brush cutting right now. Great timing. What do we do?
I hope you can still hear us.
I don't know if you can hear us. Well, maybe that old mate just started doing the brush cutting. I thought he was going to start in about an hour. So anyway, maybe we'll just make this one short. How about we just make this one short?
Yeah, let's just make it short then.
Old mate was going to do the brush cutting like an hour, like in an hour, he said, and he's just started doing it now. Anyway, we'll pick this up. See you in the next video. See you in the next video. Okay, so old mate's brush cutting, and we wanted to kind of wrap up what we were actually talking about. So yeah, this is his place, and yeah, Mandy, you wanted to sort of talk more about how we kind of got here.
Yeah, I mean, now we got here, it's still less than a week ago, but we basically, this was the first stop. We just went through Brisbane and just took the bus, and then we got picked up from Byron Bay, and now we're in the rainforest.
Yep.
And yeah, it's been, I've been here only once before, so I knew it at least a little bit, but then it's still a lot to get used to, and it's just so different, you have all the animals like so close up. We just We just saw a carpet python
Oh, coffee
next
this
to
morning.
the bathroom,
Yeah.
which is on the terrace, by the way.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a new way of life. Mice running around in the kitchen, and want to snack on our food, and
Yep.
yeah, it's very simple, but it's
not,
also
it's not Finland, mate.
Yeah.
Where there's no rodents and there's no snakes and there's no spiders, and you pretty much touch anything around here and there's a cobweb somewhere, there's a spider web on something. If your feet get wet, it's going to stay wet unless you dry it. It's not Finland where the humidity is like 20% and everything just dries out in an instant. If it rains, the paths are dry again in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, here it can be perfectly sunny like this, and then 5 seconds later it's like pouring down rain.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. It's just so different. And we're staying up in a little room that doesn't have a door, and 2 of the window panes are missing, and it's nice. It's simple, but it's
But why did we move here? I mean, why did we choose to go from being in a box that was completely and totally sealed and heat regulated and insulated with 1,000 megabit download speeds and 1,000 megabit upload speeds to a place that you can't even get 5G connection,
I mean, we were living our lives. We had our routines. We woke up each morning. I went to work before then, and you stayed in bed a little bit later, and then you started your work. And I was working in my office. It was really nice and convenient. Only a 15-minute walk to get to work, and I was doing architecture.
And I was working remotely. I could work anywhere, and that's partly kind of why we came here, because I can work anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Praise God, and
But basically, we just we were stuck in our routine, just doing everything basically the same week, repeating each thing, and we had a good time, but it's like had this feeling like, is this how we're gonna live our lives?
Yep.
Like, is this what we're gonna do?
Yep.
Just like have this routine. We wake up, go to work, come home, watch some anime, practice some Japanese, and read some Bible, and we wanna live a more wholesome life when all of our lives is it's about God and about being close to people and close to nature.
And to give you an idea of just how different it is, like when we looked outside from our apartment, which was a great apartment, by the way, it was cheap, it was in an amazing location. Like, people kind of told us, you're crazy for giving this up. It's the cheapest place, it's in an amazing location. But you look outside, there's 2 trees in the whole area. And I mean, now we're surrounded, there's, millions of trees, literally millions of plants out here. It's a complete and total change. And it was 27 and a half hours worth of flying and transiting and stuff, and then buses and everything. I think the whole journey took us about 40 hours odd.
Yeah.
And
it was crazy long.
4 or 5 days to get off the jet lag, even though we slept on both the planes. But yeah, to kind of reiterate on what Amanda said, like, it's just no way to live, we kind of felt, and it's there are a lot of people doing it and they're happy, but we just feel like God called us back to the forest,
Yeah, sort of to the wilderness as well. I think we both of us really need a sort of detox as well from everything that we've been surrounded by and all, and it's just where God called us right now. We had some other plans. We were thinking of going to Japan, but it was all in our own strength. And now we just came here because God opened this door, and I mean, he's Australian, so it's like, of course he can come here, and I'm his wife, so it's not a problem for me either. And I mean, I got my visa in 8 minutes, so it's like, what do you do? Like, it was just really obvious. And now we still don't know everything that's gonna happen. We have our dreams and everything. We'd like to get rooted, but we don't know how everything's gonna work out. So
and I mean, like, our lifestyle as well, like, is very different to other people's. even though I grew up here, I lived here for 17 years before I went to Finland. I lived 17 years in Finland. Although I've traveled all over the world, I've been to more than 70 countries. I stopped counting after 60 something. I've lived in multiple different places. I've been able to travel for work. And yeah, like we kind of need to now readapt, or at least Amanda really has her work cut out for her. But I need to kind of readapt to sort of what life is like out here, and this is not a place where, like, there's no vanity here. The beauty is in God's creation. It's not in the things that humans buy or own. Your clothes are going to get ruined. Your shoes are going to get ruined. Like I said, you reach out to grab something, to touch something, you're going to put your hand through a spider's web that actually has a spider still living in it. You know, for those that have never experienced that, like if I look behind the camera here, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spider webs, probably 5 of those that have spiders literally living in them. Yeah, I went to the toilet this morning and there was a giant carpet snake, you know, just hanging out on the balcony. I'll put this in the video as well. And it's just not, it's not Finland, it's not Europe, it's not Sweden, it's not Japan even. Japan, some places is definitely, you know, definitely similar in terms of how wet it can be and moist and so on.
But it's not as wild.
No way, not even close. Yeah. Not, this is Steve Irwin country. I mean, this is actual Steve Irwin country where we are. You know, it's not your sort of like poser outback or whatever, but you know, like this is well and truly like the forest rules everything out here. Like you're just kind of living here, you know. And it's definitely not the life for everybody. But for now, it's where we want to be, and it's what we've kind of decided to do. So, yeah, hope old mate's brush cutting out the back isn't too loud. But yeah, so basically, we just want to take these videos. We like to invite you into our lives, you know, to fellowship with us, whether you're a believer or a non-believer. Yeah, we're basically here to kind of talk about sort of our background, and right now it might kind of seem like this is sort of mostly about us. But yeah, we just want to lay the foundation, the groundwork of sort of who we are and sort of why we've come here. And in the future we'll take up, you know, more topics, we'll do more stuff, and we'll basically just kind of we'll keep it like that. So yeah, anyway, old mate's coming, so we're pretty much out of the privacy that we have, so I think that'll do it for you. So yeah.